Wake up, wake up. Niners win, Niners win, Niners win. That's right, 3 wins in a row. Jacksonville is next. Let's go.
You know, 3-0 sounds like a pretty normal way for a good franchise to start a season. 3-0 should be out there an awful lot. This is just the 10th 3-0 start in 49ers franchise history. There are 6 undefeated teams in the NFL right now, Larry, and the Niners are one of them. And given their circumstances, they're probably the least likely candidate to be undefeated at this point in the year, and this might be the best 3-0 start of Kyle Shanahan's career. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Wake Up. It's great to have you here. It's a Victory Monday on Damon Bruce Plus and The Krug Show. We're going to tell you about the sponsors who make things go for us, but it is you that really make things go for us. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell an enemy about Wake Up, about both of these channels. And if you are a 49er fan, I hope you're paying attention because I think we're steering you in the right direction more often than not. Larry, look, there are no victory parties, for the 49ers like ever. There's hardly a practice where nothing goes wrong. So all eyes are on Nick Bosa. And we're going to put that on the table early in the show because that is a big developing story to monitor. How hurt is Nick Bosa? Outside of that, though, 3-0 and the way that they went about it yesterday, did you sweat a little during that one, man? Is football not fun? Is that not a fun spectator sport? Did anybody have a heart attack yesterday? That was fun. That was good. That's a good win for the 49ers, man.
Well, I mean, first of all, you factor in no Purdy, no Ayuk, no Kittle. No JJ. You're starting to whittle away at the Niners roster, and it's like all of a sudden it was time for Kendrick Bourne to step up. It's time for Jake Tongas to step up. And it just, it had to be a total team effort, and it was. So, yeah, I laugh at the people in the post game who were just like, nitpicking this. It's like, hey, bro, Lombardi had a great tweet today. It was like, this would be kind of like if the Niners beat the Cardinals and the Cardinals didn't have Kyler, Connor, Marvin Harrison Jr., Paris Johnson, and 2 or 3 guys on. It's like, anytime you can win in this league, it's good. Anytime you can win in the division, especially a division that saw you go 1-5 inside of it a year ago, you take them any way they come. You take them absolutely any way they come. And, there were some, I'll say this, man, there were some guys who really stepped up. Christian McCaffrey and Ricky Pearsall were almost the entirety of the offense.
Yep.
We've seen, the 49er young defensive players, all of them. Really all of them. Mikael Williams, Alfred Collins, CJ West, Marquise Siegel, and Upton Stout. Upton Stout had the play of the game. If Upton Stout doesn't make the play of the game on that third down play, the Niners don't even get the ball back. So
yeah, look,
that was a catch. That was a catch.
If Zay Jones hangs on to that, that's ball game.
It's ball game. Yeah,
that's ball game.
So that's a great play by Upton Stout, and he's a little guy, but he's strong as heck, and he made the play there. And Siegel made a couple plays before that, and Mikael Williams made a couple plays before that. And Alfred Collins and CJ West were incredibly active. So, I feel great about where they're at, because the reality is this team's not going to get worse. This team's going to get better. These rookies are all going to improve, and the veterans are going to come back. But the Niners have shown, Damon, they can win with their backup quarterback, and I'd ride him. I'd ride him into Jacksonville next week. I wouldn't even go back to Purdy. I'd let Purdy. I don't care what Purdy says. It's not about what Purdy says. It's not about his choice and about his competition. It's about the Niners and the long-term view. And we saw what a toe injury can, turn into. And there's no reason for that. So if you didn't have a backup, it'd be one thing, but you do. and I'd roll with him next week against Jacksonville.
The only thing that might get in the way with that is what he finished the game wearing a knee brace, and he did hurt his knee a little bit. So, where is the rubber going to meet the road on the Mac Jones knee injury getting worse or Brock's toe getting better? I could see a scenario where Brock plays against Jacksonville, depending on what's going on with Mac Jones's knee. But Mac Jones's play, it's been outstanding. He's 53 of 80 for 563 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And most importantly, the team is 2-0 in his 2 starts. The guy has been all they hoped he could be as the backup, all they promised he would be. Their investment in Mac Jones has already paid off. There's no doubt about that, and they got to feel good about this, adding him to the team. The 49ers needed a new kicker, Larry, and they went out and they got one. And look, the Eddie Pinheiro jersey retirement party probably shouldn't be planned now, but dude, thanks to Eddie's kick, this is the first time the 49ers win after trailing with less than 10 seconds left in regulation since Robbie Gould hit a game winner as the clock went to 0 in New Orleans late in the 2019 season. So great job from Eddie getting that done. Obviously, the team celebrated, and Shanahan afterwards, he's like, yeah, I like my kickers when they're making kicks. And everybody's a fan of Pinheiro today. I think maybe more than anything else, Larry, Ricky Pearsall has arrived. I mean, that to me is the big neon sign that is blinking over this season right now. Ricky Pearsall looks like he's really arrived. The player you hope the 49ers had drafted in the first round is now here. They won't get as big as catch all year as the one that he pinned to his ear hole yesterday late in that fourth quarter and came down with that huge, huge reception. Right now, Ricky's 3rd in the NFL in total receiving yards at 281. He's 5th in the NFL in yards per catch at 17.6. He's 4th in the NFL in yards per game behind Puka, Zay Flowers, who plays tonight and will probably fall behind Ricky, and Jackson Smith and Jigba in Seattle. His 24 targets are the most on the team at the position of wide receiver right now, which means either Shanahan is drawing it up for him or he's just getting open. So he's really, really come into focus in these first 3 weeks, and I'm excited about Ricky Pearsall.
Oh, I think everybody is. I asked him after the game, I said, how are you feeling in the pregame? There's no JJ, for the first time ever, okay? He looks around. No JJ, no Debo, no Ayuk. It's just him. And all the other receivers are guys who just showed up in the last 15 minutes, right? Kendrick Bourne just arrived. Sky Moore pretty much just arrived. Marquez Valdez-Scantling pretty much just arrived. It's him. It's him. It was the Ricky Pearsall time, and he was ready for it. 11 targets, 8 catches, 117 yards. To me, the best debate of the day might be what was better, Ricky's catch on the 4th and 2 or Mac Jones's dime of a throw. That was an unbelievable 4th and 2 throw.
That's ballsy. It's the guts
beyond ballsy.
It
was, Damon, that was crazy. That was crazy. 4th and 2, and you go to a corner route with your quarterback. The coverage was there. It wasn't like that guy. Ricky was not open. He was not open. But Jones put it an absolute dime. And I don't even know what to say about that. You couldn't have handed that thing to him any better than that. It was right over the defender, right into the lap of Ricky. He didn't have to extend for it. It wasn't too far to the sideline.
Right, it was in his ear hole. He threw it into his ear hole, Larry.
It was the dime of dimes. That was amazing. And I asked Shanahan, I'm going to see if I can find it. I asked Shanahan about it after the game, Damon.
It's got to be one of those Steve Kerr watching Klay Thompson pull up from 44 going, no. Yeah, great shot.
It was amazing, man. It was amazing. That was one of the greatest throws and catches I think I've seen.
It was a hell of a throw. And it would have been an electric throw at any point in time in the game. Circumstances matter. That was the ball game right there. You had to have it. And to uncork that big of a throw, it was absolutely huge. And again, everything that the Niners drafted Ricky Pearsall hoping he would be, I think he's showing you he can be that. And that's really good because the jury was out on him all last year. And you figured that the jury would be hard to return a verdict with, so much movement at, the wide receivers around him, no Kittle taking the heat off of him. You're in a backup quarterback, and it just, the amount of could have gone wrong that is still going right for the 49ers. I really do think on a, there's, I'd say that like 1 in 5 49ers fans is actually like actively rooting against the team's success because they decided they didn't like Brock or they didn't like Shanahan, and they would rather be right about not liking the quarterback and head coach than the team proving them wrong and actually having the right guys at the positions and winning. So there's like 20% almost of all 49ers fans who are rooting for them to fail in real time.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's extreme. It was
as soon as he touched the ball.
Larry, before you get a trademark flag there, you better bring that down. I don't know how many times you can show a play before you get flagged. But look, it was my frustration with some fans is you think that 49ers fans would understand the circumstances that the 49ers were playing over better than anybody. But there seems to be this misunderstanding that this team is loaded to bear, nothing but healthy, and ready to go, and win in all circumstances. That's not where they are right now, but it is where I think they're going this year. I really mean it. This team is going to get better as the year goes along, and they've started a perfect 3-0. I really do think this is the best 3-0 start to the Shanahan era. And look, it all hangs by a thread. We know that every single game can be turned on 1 or 2 plays. Brock gets picked at the end of that Seattle game. If Tongas doesn't come around the defender to catch the touchdown, this is a different world that we're living in. If Zay Jones holds on to that catch yesterday, this is a different world we're living in. But picking out 1 or 2 moments from any close game can change things. What's been amazing is all the other plays where the 49ers are just doing enough to win over and over again. This entire season has been backups being protected by backups, throwing to backups, young, untested players asking to step up all over the defense and football field. And they've done it. They solved their kicker situation in real time when it looked like that was going to be something that they were tripping over all season long. They have asked a guy who missed most of last year with an injury that was so foreign they had to send him to Germany to get it looked at. And Christian McCaffrey has shown up this year and said, hey, everybody, I might not be as fast and as explosive that I used to be, but guess what? I'm still Walter fucking Payton over here, and I will move the chain more than anybody else. And he's doing it. Christian McCaffrey he should be getting MVP consideration right now. And he scored 1 touchdown. This guy moves the chains more than anybody else, and they are asking him to do more than anybody else. He is on pace for approximately 3,000 touches this season. It's insane what they're asking him to do, but he's done it. He's done it. They can't keep this up. But they're going
to have to figure out a way to spread it around a little bit. Use Brian Robinson. Here's Shanahan afterwards. I asked Shanahan, I said, what was that play? And he's like, trips right, 3-jet Florida. That was awesome.
Florida, just for Ricky.
Here it is. I think KMBR might have cut my question out. Here's Shanahan answering my question.
Oh, yeah. Trips right, 3-jet Florida.
Hold on.
Trips right, 3. I guess they could have just called it trips right, 3-jet Ricky.
Let's see.
But I guess they're going to ask somebody else to run this.
I got an option to hit KB on the out route, or to throw Ricky on the go. He had a good look at both of them.
Oh, you are hearing it.
I'm just the right one. It's a big time play.
You even hesitated to go for it there. Did you have that play ready to go? Had that been set up?
It wasn't really the play ready to go, but I knew based off what we did the down before that we were going to give him 2 tries, and I was hoping we could run it. We had a chance to, came up just short, and then those guys were big time on that.
4th and 2 catch down the sideline.
Oh yeah. From there it was just I seen the corner pressed up on me. He was playing real inside leverage, and as I was releasing, I was coming off my release and just kind of reading the DB, and he stayed inside. So I just took the outside release, and Mac put it on the money on the sideline and ended up making the catch on my helmet. I didn't see that until they showed the instant replay.
Yeah, Kyle said it was kind of dicey. Did you have it?
I have no idea. I didn't see like the entire replay. I just knew it was in my hands when, I thought I caught it. So I didn't get to see if I had like full maintain of the ball, but yeah, I think it was a catch.
I mean, when not being Superman on the field for the 49ers, he's a mild-mannered reporter named Clark Kent working for the seriously, look at those thick rims that he was wearing right there. Ricky looking studious in the post game.
He's just a regular dude. It's funny. It's you ask him about things, and he's just he's just a young guy. He doesn't put too much pressure on himself. He doesn't dwell on things. He doesn't, he's just very loose and very casual. And he's a great guy to talk to after the game. And he's coming on, man. I mean, they invested a first-round draft pick, and there was obviously high expectations anytime you invest a first in a player. And last year was crazy. And he kind of got right at the end. And then we weren't really sure what was real. Was it just a couple games at the end where he got hot in garbage time of the season, or is this Ricky? And then we found out thus far this year that what we saw at the end of last year is indeed the real Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
And just imagine how good this team is going to be when they get an all-world tight end back in George Kittle, when they get Brandon Ayuk back. Heck, next week when they get Demarcus Robinson, who was a phenomenal player.
It's going to feel like
get him back.
Rice back or something. Like
they got all kinds of guys coming back. I mean, that's their situation right now. And they look good. And then, yes, the schedule's favorable, which allows them to catch a breath. But you know what?
It's great.
Yesterday could have gone to anybody. It really felt like Arizona was going to win that game on multiple moments.
James Conner doesn't leave that game with a brutal injury. Arizona probably does win that game. I'll be honest with you. That James Conner leaving that game changed the temperature of that game. By the way, SF Indigo, he could see me flipping through my mental Rolodex. Daily Planet. Yes, that is the Clark Kent newspaper of record. Thank you very much. I couldn't come up with it there. Newspapers are dying, even fictional ones in Superman. Look, it was a game that the 49ers needed. I mean, they didn't need it for the ultimate equation, but to just stack 3 wins this early in a year, if they run the table at home, Larry, they're a 10-win football team just by math. So 10 wins means you're a playoff team for sure, and running the table at home is a goal of any head coach, any organization that thinks it's good. That one almost got away, and it didn't. They got it. They absolutely got it. You talked about Ricky Pearsall realizing that first round potential. Feels like this is where we should talk about Michael Williams, who in 3 weeks has improved dramatically. Game 1 performance, game 2 performance, game 3 performance. Good, better, best. I mean, we are watching somebody getting better in real time. Very impressed by how he played yesterday, and the fact that he came back from an injury scare too. He walked off the field with a wrist, but came back into the game and kept making plays, Larry. Michael Williams, he can play.
I mean, he's not, if you're a guy that's going to look at the box score, you're never going to be overly impressed by the box score, because he's not going to sack the quarterback a ton, and he's not going to pile up a ton of tackles. But, and yesterday was no different, right? He had 2 tackles all day. He had no sacks. He had 1 hit all day on the quarterback. The Niners only had 4 hits on the quarterback, 2 from Bryce Huff, 1 from McKell, 1 from D. Winters. So but throw all that out, because he is the perfect player for what they want, which is what they're asking him to do. I mean, it's rare that you have a plan that you can just execute from start to finish, but they have one, and they had one. They drafted McKell. They knew they were getting Bryce Huff. And McKell is the perfect complement to Huff. Huff is outside and is a speed rusher and creates tons of space inside. Space is what Michael Williams absolutely, dominates with inside. And then you've got McKell as a first and second down run defender. And his strength to set the edge in the run game is almost unparalleled. So, yeah, he's looking great. I thought both Collins and West.
CJ
This
West,
was West's best game.
without a doubt. It's the first time I felt him in a football game, even though he didn't pack up the box score or do anything that dramatic. He was pushing the pile, and he was out there.
He was not only that, he was playing in crunch time. When in the fourth quarter, when they had to have it and when they needed to get stops, he was out there. I mean, that was the really most impressive part. I'm on the binoculars with about 5 minutes left, and Arizona's in a major fourth quarter drive, and I look down and I see there's McCall, there's Collins, there's West. And then I look over and it's like, there's Upton Stout, there's Marquise Siegel. They were all out there. All their rookies were out there for the most part, except for Nick Martin, who was inactive because they're so deep at linebacker right now.
He hasn't been active once yet, has he? He hasn't dressed yet.
He hasn't been active once, and it has absolutely nothing to do with him. They're just super loaded, and they've got all kinds of
D. Winters has snatched all his playing time. I mean, D. Winters has been incredible.
Well, and Luke Gifford. I mean, Luke Gifford's taking his roster spot. I mean, they're choosing to go with Robinson and Gifford for their special teams ability early in the year. But I mean, his time will come, and when it does come, it's going to come in a big way because he's a big time player. But I mean, yeah, right now, I mean, to me, there's a few things at play here that have to be talked about. One is the emergence of Ricky Pearsall. Two is the health of Christian McCaffrey. Three is the unbelievable coming of age of Mac Jones in a 49er uniform. And I'm listening. These are not in order of importance. They're just in order of whatever order I'm coming up with. But one of the other things that absolutely has to be discussed is the unbelievable good fortune, or if you want to call it luck, or if you want to call it their plan. But the Niners, on some level, if you believe Shanahan and Lynch, wanted Dre Greenlaw to return. And I wanted Dre Greenlaw to return.
Yeah.
And the fans wanted Dre Greenlaw to return.
He's an
and
easy player to
Fred Warner
team.
did. And Nick Bosa did. Everybody did. Everybody wanted Dre Greenlaw to return. And the Niners made him kind of a low ball offer, turned him off. Then they upped their offer in the 11th hour because they didn't want to be seen as disrespecting a proud veteran that has been one of their main guys. But they got the outcome that they wanted, which was that Dre moved on, even though they probably would deny that they wanted that. But I think that's what they wanted. They wanted Dre to move on. And the Niners dodged a bullet. I love Dre Greenlaw. I was yelling and screaming. I was wrong. Dre Greenlaw, that was an emotional want. It wasn't a well-reasoned want. And Dre Greenlaw's body has failed him. He's on IR. He can't even get out there for anything. He's been babied all summer, all preseason, and they still had to put him on IR because his body is failing him. And instead, it forced the Niners to draft Nick Martin, go with D. Winters, and the D. Winters-Fred Warner combo right now is off the chain.
It is
19 combined tackles, 9 combined solo, 3 PBUs, 1 hit on the quarterback. Last week they were dominant. This week they're dominant. The Niners' dominance on defense starts with Fred Warner and D. Winters.
Look, the amount of attention that the trade has garnered. Well, I mean, I don't know. They did lose yesterday, so Micah Parsons does not solve everything. But the short list of defensive player of the year candidates right now, I think it starts with Fred Warner. He has just been unbelievable. It's I don't want to reach the point where we start we don't even notice how great Steph Curry is in real time. I don't want to get there with Fred Warner. The guy is a tackling machine, and he's built to go in every direction. His bat down, as big of a play as you'll see in that game yesterday, Larry, that bat down at the line of scrimmage that he had was incredible. Fred Warner, in all the directions he can move, apparently vertically is one of them. The guy, I mean, he got 3 feet bigger than he is to bat that down. It was fantastic. Fred Warner is an absolute stud. Since we're talking a little,
and he got better. I mean, which is just hard to believe. I mean, if you had said to me, "Is Fred have the ability to get better?" I would have said, "Nah, no, he's peaked. He's peaked through 3 games. This is what he has: 16 solo tackles, 14 assisted tackles, and 2 TFLs."
Now, that run defense yesterday, again, we got to grade it on the curve of terrible injury to James Conner. Had to be carted off the field. And that's too bad. That guy's the heart and soul of the Arizona Cardinals. He really is. Great player. Great player. I hate to see his, I don't want to say career.
It was an ankle.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a bad ankle injury that he's going to have surgery on.
I don't want to say his career is over, but, running backs start losing knees and ankles, and it's never good. But, he probably he's
30.
At the very best, he's damaged goods at this point, and that's too bad. Having said all that, grading this game kind of on the curve of the Conner injury, and I don't think these numbers would have been as impressive if he finished the game. But, Larry, listen to this. Of the 21 carries by Cardinals running backs yesterday, so this doesn't factor in Kyler Murray running with the football at all, but of the 21 carries by Cardinals running backs, 8 of them gained only 1 yard. 3 other runs, 0 yards. 3 other runs, -1 yard. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 of 21 carries, 1 yard or worse by the 49ers defense yesterday. I mean, I don't care what the circumstances are. A defense that young that loses Nick Bosa in game does that. That's good. That's good. That's Robert Saleh.
Well, I mean, if you take away, there was one Trey Benson 29-yard run. Okay, they had 28 carries for 106 yards. If you take away that one run, they averaged what? I mean, nothing. I mean, hardly anything.
Right.
27 carries for 77 yards.
You said they averaged, but then you're like, oh, shit, I got to do the math on this in my head.
2.8. 2.8. So
go.
it's 2.8 a carry. 2.8 a carry that they averaged outside of one Trey Benson 29-yard run.
Now,
Pretty
look, the 49ers running game is not exactly in great shape right now. The offensive line is not getting it done, not opening up the running lanes, but still what Christian McCaffrey's doing is pretty damn impressive. And I do think we need to talk about just offense overall in the NFL. Offense is down overall. Like, forget about just the 49ers, their circumstances, backups, blocking for backups, throwing to backups everywhere. An offensive line nobody really fell in love with in the first place. Offense is down in the NFL everywhere. Everywhere you look. NFL offenses are averaging 317.9 yards per game. It is the lowest total since 2005. It is the third lowest total this century. So in the league, offense is just down everywhere. Of course, the 49ers
okay. First of all, a couple things. I mean, we're apples and oranges. Okay, apples and oranges. The league offensive decline has to do, I think, a lot with how many guys rest in the preseason. And offensive football is about timing. And it's about cohesion.
Part of it.
And it's about reps. And it's about, it's about timing, and you have to work on your timing as a group. And so you take away practice time, and you take guys off the field because of injuries, and all these precautions and this and that. So I think teams across the league in general are not getting quite the field time. And so, yeah, I think we're starting the year where defenses are ahead of offenses. And I think it has to do with a couple things. Practice time.
I think we're going to do that every year. I think that's going to be like standard operating procedure now.
I think it's going to be more of a constant as there's more turnover. The more player turnover, the more players change teams, the more there's a premium on those reps. And then with everybody prioritizing health, those reps then are no longer prioritized. So then all of a sudden you've got, new players everywhere, and they're not really repping it. So you're not really seeing good offensive football for the first 3 or 4 weeks. I think that's one. As far as the Niners' inability to run the ball, I think it's real obvious. Teams are loading the box with no Debo, no Ayuk, Kittle out, and they're just saying, hey, we're going to dare. We're going to put an extra defender in the box. We're going to load it up, 7, 8 guys in the box. We're going to have guys leaning forward, and we're going to have guys standing there 8 yards off the line of scrimmage in a 2 shell. And if you want to run against it, go for it. The Niners' longest run was Brian Robinson's 19-yarder. McCaffrey had a 15-yarder. But other than that, they have not gotten explosives in the run game, and it's because teams are playing a lot of two-shell against them and loading the box, and they're just daring Kyle Shanahan to throw the ball. And so what did he do?
He's
Even
doing
though
it.
you never would have thought it, he would have done it. Mac Jones threw what did he throw last week? 39 times. This week he threw 41 times. Last week he had 43 dropbacks. This time he probably had 45 total dropbacks. Yeah, I mean they are saying, you know what? You're going to load the box. We're going to throw the ball. Even without our weapons, we're going to try to throw the ball, and that's what they're doing. But you're right, though. We have to see the return of the run game. And Frank made a great point yesterday in the postgame, which is, Brian Robinson needs more touches. If you looked at last week's thing, it was like 66 snaps. It was like 66. I forget exactly, but it was just a handful of snaps for Robinson and the Lions share.
And Isaac Guerendo, who was he traded to? Isaac Guerendo traded to who, Larry? I must have missed that day when he was shipped to another roster.
I'm done with him, actually, completely. I'm totally done with him. Yesterday, he did it again. It's like it's one thing to do it as a rookie, but he did it again. He's kick returning, and there's a gigantic lane to the left. I mean, gigantic, like 12 yards wide lane to the left. There's a big lane if you wanted to go all the way to the right. What does he do? He takes it up the field at some ridiculous breakneck pace and runs right into the back of his lineman and goes down. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? He ran 19 yards into the back of his own guy and fell to the ground. The only improvement I saw is last year he did the same thing, but he fumbled. He ran into his own guy and fumbled, which is just like got to be the worst play you could ever make as a running back. No defender causes the fumble. You running into your own guy causes a fumble. That's like the lowest of lowlights. And he had a 19-yard run. He ran no vision at all. No vision of the field. Holes everywhere. Runs right up the back of his lineman. I mean, he is just. I'd absolutely fight. If there was somebody out there was willing to give you anything for him, I would do it in a heartbeat and go find somebody off the waiver wire. That guy's going to break your heart forever because he has no instincts. He's a tease. He's big and he's fast, and give me the rookie from Oregon.
Give me something. Give me another option for Kyle to actually use other than, just Christian McCaffrey with just a tiny little bit of Brian Robinson Jr., who until that 19-yard run really hadn't done anything for the 49ers over the last 3 weeks. So good to see him finally affect the game in a positive way. Meanwhile, McCaffrey, he really is among the last of a dying breed here. The NFL workhorse running back is harder and harder to find each and every week. This guy leads the NFL with 77 touches. It's the most through 3 games in 49ers history. He's on pace for 436 touches. The guy was hurt all last year.
How many?
436.
Yeah, you can't have 436 touches.
You couldn't do that in a video game.
I think that might be that might be right there next to his career high. It was even worse going. I mean, coming into the game, I think he was on pace for like 568 or some ridiculous thing. So maybe that pace has been slowed a little bit. But I mean, what was amazing? 26 targets for just Pearsall and McCaffrey.
Yeah,
26 targets.
Bourne
and Tongus and Sky Moore combined for 10. 12 if you want to throw in one for Juice and one for Valdez-Scantling. So you had 12 targets for non-CMC and Pearsall, and you had 26 for CMC and Pearsall.
So there are no workhorse running backs anymore, Damon. It's been by committee for a long time. Yet not in San Francisco. It's not. It is one man, basically, and it is not a committee. It is Christian McCaffrey against 77 touches. He's 14th in the NFL, Larry, in catches. This is among everyone. He has caught he's the 14th best wide receiver in football. He is 3rd in the NFL in yak yards right now. He's only coming in at 58.7 rushing yards per game, but that is still good enough to be 14th best in the NFL. Josh Dubois uncorked this one, and this is where McCaffrey's importance to the 49ers just cannot be overstated. He leads the entire league with 21 first downs earned. His 7 first downs per game average is just behind the 7.1 that he averaged when he won Offensive Player of the Year. Nobody.
I liked his usage yesterday better, which is throw him the ball. Don't hand him the ball so much. If you hand him the ball, he gets crushed. If you throw him the ball, then he's usually being guarded by a linebacker or safety. One guy hits him. But when you run him into the line like that, it's like every snap could be his last, and he just gets destroyed. And it's like hard. Jerry McDonald brought it up like 4 times in the post game. How many? At one point, he asked Christian if he liked getting hit, and Christian's like, "No, I don't like getting hit," which is kind of a silly question. But either way, 17 runs and 10 receptions on 15 targets. It's like I would love it if they could keep his runs down to 15 or less. But I love the fact that they're going to throw him the ball, because to me, throwing McCaffrey the ball, he's a route runner like a receiver. He doesn't most running backs round everything off and this and that. No, not this guy. This guy's a real route runner. And then I also think his ability to withstand the punishment is better if you throw him the ball as opposed to hand it to him. So you have Brian Robinson and you're going to have Jordan James coming back. Figure out a way to throw it more to Christian. I think it will preserve him a little bit.
Hey, across both of our channels, we have thousands of people watching right now. Welcome to Wake Up. Kruger and I are going to be with you the day after the 49ers play at 9 a.m. West Coast time. We'll be with you Fridays as well. It's great having you here. Like and subscribe across both channels. And thanks so much for supporting what we do, supporting our sponsors, my man Ike and our good friends at the Dubliner. Get a sandwich at Ike's and join us at the Dubliner on Saturday, October 4th at 4:20. It is the Saturday after the 49ers and Rams game. By the way, Rams losing yesterday, just more sprinkles on top of your Sunday. And we're going to be doing that, and I hope everyone can come on out and join us there. Larry, maybe we can even have some pig in the pickle shipped in or something like that. I don't know.
You know how many people, I can't even tell you the number of people, that have just yelled at me in the last 2 weeks. Pig in a pickle.
You should change the name of the Krug show to just Pig in a Pickle. It's, it sounds like football, right? A pig, it's pigskin, pig in a pickle.
It's crazy. The number of people that have come up to me in the last, just yesterday, just at the game. People in the media room, people in the auditorium, people in the corridors. One of the police officers ran up to me. He's like, "I've got to stand post over there. I'm breaking my code here. I've left my post." And I said, "Oh God, don't leave your post." He's like, "But I just want to say I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the show." I'm like, I love it, and it's like unbelievable. So thank you. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. The only thing that gets more tired than me mentioning Pig in a Pickle are the number of social media posts that I spin to the owner. When you guys send them to me, I spin them right to the owner, and he's like, "This is unbelievable. I'm getting these every day." I said, "Damon, I could literally send you one on the hour if I wanted to." That's how many people. But yes, thanks to Pig in a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Also, thanks to Sleeper. This 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use the promo code Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions apply. I also want to shout out Claudaddy Arcades, who sent us to New Orleans last week. Great follow on Instagram at claw_daddy_arcades to find a location near you. And Sharp Corners, sports cards and collectibles. Check them out, 205 Cypress Avenue down in Pacific Grove. The great Anthony Catania is a great Niner fan. He was there yesterday. 831-521-5264 for Sharp Corners. what can I say? We're really thrilled to have the support that we have on the channel. Putting out more and more stuff all the time on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on you name it. We're out there putting a bunch of stuff out. Kev is working harder than ever. He's never produced more. So unbelievable. Thank you to everybody.
Jack and Ozzy have never produced less. I mean, these guys are just not helping this channel at all, but they are adorable. So we'll keep them.
They just keep eating and eating and eating.
Let me tell you, Fortenbaugh, it's funny. Joe Fortenbaugh, who we became really good friends with before he left for ESPN, and his wife and my wife got along, and he has 2 little boys too. So when we had our first, they had us over for brunch, and Joe Fortenbaugh leaned at me and he said, "You're not going to believe what you're going to spend on just fruit, just berries. Strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. You're not going to believe what that budget is." And he was right. We're like at a $500 to $600 a month berry budget, I think, in this house. These kids are just horfing them down. Just berries. I mean, at least it's healthy, right? I mean, at least it's not candy, but
it's very healthy. It's very good. And yes,
we're getting our asses kicked over here financially, though, by these kids. They're just burying us to death on the berry.
I'm 3 weeks from being carried around Costco in a rickshaw. I mean, you think you spend a lot. I have a 19-year-old that could eat, 5 New York steaks by himself. I got a 16-year-old who's playing football who eats like 7 meals a day. My daughter's fiance stops by, and this guy can eat more tri-tip than Joey Chestnut. I mean, it's unbelievable. And that's not even me, because of course I'm a pretty good eater myself. Only my wife is probably the only non-significant eater in the family. So yeah, there are times like when my kid, my 16-year-old, had a bunch of his buddies over right for his birthday. They all spent the night, and I forget what they either went and watched the UFC fight at one of the Buffalo Wild Wings and everything. They were going to Six Flags the next day. They had a big itinerary, right? But we had like 11 kids staying over, and they had gone out for pizza. And so I said to my son, "Hey, you want me to barbecue a bunch of burgers so your guys have a bunch of food to eat at night when they get?" He's like, "Oh, Dad, it's not. You don't have to do that because
we're good.
We're going to pizza. We're going to pizza." I go, "I know you're going to pizza, but aren't you guys going to pizza before the event? And isn't it gonna be like 4 or 5? And you're staying over?" He's like, "Yeah, but you don't have to do that, Dad." I'm like, "How about I'll just do it anyway?" So I make, Damon, I'm not even shitting you, 22 hamburgers, fully. They were kind of small because I put them on the
Hawaiian buns.
Yes, I put them on the Hawaiian buns with a piece of lettuce, a tomato, and an onion, and a toothpick in the middle.
Little sliders.
I put them on the table. These guys showed up at like 11 o'clock at night. Damon, I don't think I've ever seen 22 hamburgers eaten faster than these kids ate them. They just wolfed them.
There you go.
Of course they did. They weren't hungry because they had gone to pizza.
Yeah.
So I said to my 16-year-old, I go, "From now on, how about this? I'll just assume you guys are always super hungry, and then we can always have leftovers." And he's like, "Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Dad."
There you go. You got to make a plan to win, Larry. You're going to have to plan it, and thank God they got you man in the slider station. You know more about these boys and their hunger than they even do.
I was going to say, Damon, this would be my equivalent of Kyle Shanahan's. What's the name of that play again that Shanahan said?
Trips Florida.
Trips right, something Florida. He's got a plan. I've got a plan. So there you go.
There you go. You went 22 left sliders.
Yeah.
22 left sliders, kitchen table on 3 break. Let's talk about that.
Eat until we puke. All right. Let's get out there and let's do it.
Larry, I want to talk about the game-winning drive.
Trips right, 3-jet Florida. Trips right, 3-jet Florida. Go ahead.
There was a very unique game-winning drive. Do you know where the 49ers did fail yesterday? They did not have a good day, and it's hard to have a good day as a quarterback when you're bad on third down. The 49ers weren't very good on third down yesterday. They were 2 of 10.
They got totally dominated in the time of possession because of it.
Oh my God. They didn't even really have a drive that had any rhythm behind it until the second half of that ball game. I mean, they didn't even touch the ball in the first half hardly. So I guess the best way to solve your problems on third down is to not bring it up. And that's what they did. The 49ers on their game-winning drive ran 7 plays. Now, that doesn't include the spike, and it doesn't include the kneel down to get in the middle of the hashes for Pinheiro. But the 49ers run 7 plays. 4 of those plays were on first down. 3 of the other plays were on second down. Every single second down play went for a first down, including 2 of those plays being 2nd and 10.
Yeah.
So they didn't even see third down on their game-winning drive. And on a day where you weren't good on third down, that was nice. They were really, really good. The 49ers had 19 first downs in the game, 5 of them coming on the final drive of the game. That includes the illegal use of hands penalty. And on the final drive, Mac Jones was 5 of 7 for 59 yards, and he did it wearing a knee brace, which he said made him a little uncomfortable. So,
well, not that. Did you see, Damon? He got his jersey totally torn in the first half.
Yeah, by the armpit. Yeah,
but they didn't take it off. They didn't switch his jersey. Is it possible they don't have a backup jersey? No, they gotta have a backup jersey. By the way, on that drive that you were talking about, Damon, that was the Niners' 10th possession of the game. Right? It started on their 20. Jones threw incomplete to Pearsall on first down. He threw for 11 yards on 2nd and 11 to Tongas. Great throw. Great play call, too. 1st and 10 from the 31. He went to Sky Moore for a first down. That was an 11-yard gain. Then 1st and 10 on the 42. He went to Tongas. It was incomplete, but it was a penalty for PI on Taylor Dadrian Demerson, who's a hell of a player, by the way, the Texas Tech kid. And then, so it's 1st and 10 at the 46. He goes to Bourne.
I'll be right back.
Okay. He goes to Bourne for 7. He then goes to Bourne again on 2nd and 3. So now they're down to the 36. Jones drops back to pass on the 36 on first down, throws it away. To me, this next play was as good a play as there was. And the timing was fantastic. And Trenton CMC talked about it in the postgame. 2nd and 10 from the Cardinal 36-yard line. 49ers trying desperately to get that game-winning field goal, but they're still on the 36. That's a 50-some-odd yard field goal, so they're not really in field goal range. And Kyle calls the screen to CMC, and that the Niners. I think I'd love the Niners to call a few more screens. Because I think Jones can throw them. I think Purdy can throw them, and I think the backs can catch them. And I think it's a great way to kind of neutralize an over-aggressive defense and make them kind of pause. So the screen to CMC, and it gets 20 yards. And the next play, they're 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Jones spikes it. Then with 6 seconds left, he centered it. And Pinheiro comes on, 35-yard field goal. Thanks for coming. 10 play, 63-yard drive in 146. So great. It was a great drive by Jones. But I thought the screen pass on 2nd and 10 from the 36, in a lot of ways, might have been one of the biggest plays of the game. It's just simply because it took the Niners from. I mean, the only thing about Eddie Pinheiro, if you say, is there a downside to Eddie Pinheiro? He's he's the 3rd most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL. What's the downside? The downside is he doesn't have just the big leg, right? That's what Jake Moody had. Jake Moody had the big leg. Eddie Pinheiro does not have the big leg. So I was just saying, Damon, that the screen pass on 2nd and 10 from the 36 that went for 20 yards and down to the 16-yard line, such a great play. And I was just saying that I wish the Niners would call a few more screen passes, because they have the quarterback and the quarterbacks who are good ball handlers, and they also have the receivers, the backs that can catch it out of the backfield, especially with Jordan James, who's really like packed and compact and powerful. He's a really, really good receiver. We saw that this summer. So that was such a huge play, because then it was first and 10 on the 16, and then hey, it's a formality, right? Eddie's gonna make a short field goal. So it's a small thing, but I mean, a couple weeks ago the Niners were in field goal kicker hell. They had invested a 3rd-round pick in a guy who was failing, and there is no bigger hell than that, right? There is no bigger hell than you wasted a day 2 pick on a kicker that you're gonna have to cut. I mean, there is no bigger fail than that. And then to be able, Damon, to find the NFL's 3rd most accurate kicker
how's that even
in
possible?
history seems absolutely like, oh, what? What the hell are we screwing around with Jake Moody for 3 freaking weeks if one of the most accurate kickers in history is sitting at home? All right. So, I mean, that was like, and then you think to yourself, well, you know what? Yeah, that statistic that says he's the 3rd most accurate kicker, that's a career stat. But what's he done recently? Probably he's 3rd in his career, making 88%, but he's probably been really bad the last 3 years.
He played himself off the roster.
Yeah, that's why he's free, because he's not good. But then you looked at his last 3 years at Carolina, and instead of making 88% like his career, he's made 90%. And then you're sitting there going, what were they waiting for? I mean, that is a level of stubborn that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. You needed to go with your guy so bad, and to prove your drafting was correct so to such an extent that you almost bypassed signing Eddie Pinheiro, who's made 90% of his kicks over the last 3 years, because you didn't want to admit failure on Jake. I mean, I think that might be the lucky moment of the season right there.
I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see. There's still an awful lot of season left here, but it's a move that had the 49ers not made it, they're not 3-0. I mean, I think that
I agree.
You got to have a special teams that doesn't erode confidence in the football team, and I think that that's what special teams was doing. It was an erosion of confidence. Now, the no more erosion. Congratulations. Your path is not receding in this moment. The ground is not eroding underneath you. People believe in it, and belief goes a long way on a football field. There's a couple things.
Do you agree with Jan Chosla, by the way, here?
What's that?
He says it wasn't about admitting failure, it was about giving him one last chance. I disagree. I think it was more about admitting failure.
The combination of the two, I think that they also, I think more than anything else, there was an element of regret over the ankle injury, and thinking that this was sort of the fork in the road and it was going to come back eventually. Like,
that's a good point.
I
think maybe they felt like he in being a football player, he kind of suffered an injury, and they're going to try to. You wonder. I mean, I wonder, is that injury the thing that kind of derailed his whole momentum here?
Well, and just and look, I don't know if he's playing in public the way that it really played behind the scenes, but it didn't seem like there was a personal connection that really kept them together. It didn't even seem like Kyle talks to these guys. So I think it was a little bit of draft regret, injury regret, and just hoping that things will get better, which, I don't blame any coach for wanting that, but eventually you got to admit this experiment has run its course.
Might have been a little bit of this too. Might have been a little bit of money.
Maybe. Yeah, because,
I think so. You had a guy on a rookie contract, and then you had to go sign a veteran kicker. They're trying to roll over as much as possible. But either way, the difference, I mean, think about it this way. Having Pinheiro is better than Jake finding himself. Because if Jake, I know they would say, well, he would have been cheaper. Okay, fine. But Jake finding himself, we always would have been wondering, is he gonna, is he going to relapse? Is he going to go back into a slump? He's kicked well recently, but now you get to wipe the slate clean. And here's a guy, a veteran kicker who's literally laughing in the face of potentially losing his career. You know what? Just got to make kicks or I'm out of here. And that's kind of, he's got a resiliency about him emotionally that Jake didn't have. Well, that's great.
Spy versus spy. Say it's the exchange rate, money for dinero. There you go. I love that exchange rate. Larry, when I was hosting Sports Phone a million years ago and was at the ballpark like every night covering the Giants, One of the single greatest resources we had in the press box was Ed Montague. Ed Montague, one of the greatest umpires in baseball history, was in the ballpark every night as like an umpire Major League Baseball liaison. So
Good friend of mine. His dad signed Willie Mays.
Wonderful guy, awesome guy, and an impeachable resource to have. Something happens in a baseball game, you got a question. You don't need Google. You got Ed Montague sitting behind you. You could just ask Ed. He'll tell you exactly what should have happened, is supposed to happen, what the real rule is, who got what wrong or right. He was an awesome resource. I wish I had an NFL version of Ed Montague sitting behind me to talk about the safeties yesterday, the one that was and the one that wasn't, because I have questions.
Okay.
First of all, I could have sworn Kyler was in that end zone, and I thought that the tip of the football by his ear hole as he was throwing it broke the plane of the end zone, and that ball technically was in the end zone by a millimeter or two, and that should have been a safety. I didn't like that. Is that reviewable? Is that not a scoring play? Should Kyle have thrown the flag on that? I didn't really understand what was happening.
It was a penalty, so it's not a reviewable thing. I don't think that's a reviewable thing. But also, the rules are set up so that any part of the ball, 100% of the player and the ball have to be in the end zone for it to be a safety.
All right.
100%. And the feet were both in the end zone, but the ball was not.
Half the ball, I thought, was out of the end zone. Half of it was on the line, which is in the end zone. If breaking the plane works in both directions, I thought he was in the end zone. Okay, 100% was not in there, and it's a penalty, so it's not reviewable. Fine. I thought the Dominic Pooney hold happened outside of the end zone. Out of the end zone. And does the safety get triggered because the quarterback is in the end zone? So therefore that holding penalty might as well have been in the end zone too. Like, I thought that the actual penalty needed to occur in the physical location of the end zone, not on the 2-yard line, for that to be a safety too. I was a little confused there. I needed Ed Montague's breaking down of safety.
I think the way that works, and I might be wrong, but I think the way that works is that if there's a holding call on the play and the quarterback is in the end zone when the flag gets thrown, it's a safety. So
I thought both were on the edge. I thought both were really, really on the edge. And
yeah, I mean, it didn't work out for the Niners, but that would have been an ugly way to lose. Oh my God. That would have been an ugly way to lose.
It would have been an ugly way to, by the way, I think that when, you're playing poker and, sometimes you lose a poker hand that you played the right way, and that's just sports.
Yeah.
I thought that the 49ers made the right decision to go for it on 4th and goal and not take what would have been the go-ahead field goal. That's where an awful lot of anger came out in my chat room during my live stream watch party. What are they doing? I thought this is the right move. You've got Arizona backed up. They're not really getting an awful lot going offensively. This is the right move. There's still a lot of ball game here.
They didn't get the 4th and 1 from the 1 is what you're saying.
Right. I thought, even though I didn't like the result, I endorsed the play to go for it. And, hey, take the points, take the lead. I get it. But I actually thought it was the right thing to do, even though the moment didn't go the 49ers' way. I thought they played the moment correctly.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that, because this is one of my biggest beefs about this game as well. This is to me, this is the biggest negative of the game.
Would you have taken the points? Would you have kicked?
Well, it's not. No, I thought they were right to go for it.
Okay, me too.
But that's where you and I part ways, because to me, they were right to go for it, but they were wrong to throw it.
Oh, I didn't like the play and throw it into the fucking end zone, by the way.
Well, not only that, I mean, if you were watching, I was sitting next to Todd Husak and we're watching the play clock, and they break the huddle at 6 and they get to the line of scrimmage. It's 4. And I'm like, call a timeout, call a timeout, call a timeout. I look down. I look over, because we're right on the edge. I look down on the Niners sideline. I see Shanahan running down the sideline. He's trying to get a timeout. I'm like, call a timeout, call a timeout. They don't call a timeout. They get the play called. It was definitely after the zeros. So they lucked out. They absolutely lucked out. Should have been delay a game. Okay, should have been a delay a game. Lucked out. But it's a passing play, and you have to like rush up there, and you throw incomplete.
Right. You're not controlling the line of scrimmage. You're not opening holes. You're not even doing it on Trent Williams' side, which that play did go to Trent's side instead of the McKivitt side, but it just didn't work.
I hate that. I hate the way the Niners operate in the low red zone. I think Kyle Shanahan needs a lobotomy on the low red zone.
And where was Kyle Juszczyk? Why is Kyle Juszczyk on the team? I know he had a late touchdown there, but
forget everything you know about football and what your thoughts are, and adapt. The league, old school thinking is you run the ball in the low red zone. Okay. The 49ers ran the ball on 2nd and goal. They get the 1st and goal from the 6, right? They hand it to Brian Robinson. He gets down to the 3. Great. Hand it to him again. It's 2nd and goal on the 3. Do they hand it to him again? No. They hand it to McCaffrey. He gets down to the 1. Okay, that's not bad. 3rd and goal from the 1. This is where the Eagles have the Niners beat 10 times over. The Eagles may pass on 3rd and goal from the 1, knowing they're going to push it on 4th and goal from the 1. The Niners are absolutely the opposite. The Niners run the ball on 3rd and goal from the 1. CMC got totally stuffed to the point where 4th and goal was probably from the 1 and almost 2, because he was definitely at a loss on 3rd and goal. So 4th and goal from like the 1.5, instead of powering it in with the tush push or some kind of power run, the Niners don't. Supposedly, McCaffrey's one of the best running backs in football. Supposedly, Jake Brendel's a good center. I keep saying he's not good. You guys all keep saying he is good. Well, if he's so good, then why are you passing on 4th and goal from the 1? If you have a center that you like, and you have a future Hall of Fame running back, and you have another power back in Brian Robinson, why the fuck are you passing the ball on 4th and goal from the 1? That kind of loser football is going to burn you at the end. You're not going to ever beat Philly if they can run the ball on the goal line and you can't. If you have to fool the Eagles are like, here it is, baby, try to stop it. And the Niners are playing, let's try to fool you games as the clock's ticking down, passing the ball. You're never going to beat those teams with any consistency if you can't run in the low red zone. So maybe Brendel's not the right center. Maybe maybe you don't have the right running back. Maybe you don't have the right play call. But come on, guys, you got to run the ball on the 1 yard line.
And if you can't, don't. Okay, go to call a play. Call another play. Throw the ball into the end zone.
No, but if you can't, I disagree. If you can't get a yard, you have to change what you're doing. You have to not change what you're doing. You have to change how you're doing it. You cannot throw the ball on 4th and goal from the 1 trying to fool people. You have to move people. It's not a finesse game. It's a power game. And the Eagles are playing the power game and the Niners are playing the finesse game. And you're not going to win. You're not going to be as high percentage throwing it as they're going to be in the tush push.
No, there's no doubt.
But sure as hell better get better running the ball.
Hey, look, the tush push is like the MVP of the NFL. It clicks about 97% of the time. It accomplishes what it's supposed to accomplish. It's unstoppable. The Niners do not have the Niners to pass their offensive line.
Did you want the Niners to pass on 4th and 1? Because I didn't. I wanted them to run it.
Into the end zone? Yes. I'll take the pass into the end zone, especially on a day where you're not running the ball particularly well. You are not a short yardage, going to get 3 yards, cloud of dust level football team. This team doesn't even have Kyle Juszczyk line up at fullback in front of the in front of the running back to block for him in short yardage situations.
I mean, think about that. You're one of 5 teams in pro football that carry a fullback. You have a Pro Bowl, borderline all pro fullback. You have a future Hall of Fame running back, and you're passing. I mean, that's as dumb as Harbaugh passing with Kaepernick to Crabtree when he had Frank Gore. I mean, Run the ball. And if you don't have the right center, then put a different center in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again,
Run the ball. They should have lost that game because of their failure to score right there. That should have cost them the game, and probably very easily could have.
Look, there's 3 or 4 times where they all but lost that game yesterday. And the fact that they're 3-0 makes this one of the most welcome 3-0s in the NFL, certainly, I think, in Kyle Shanahan's career, based on all the circumstances. Speaking of all of them, Larry, look at all these supers that we have here. I mean, look at them all. We got 30 almost. Let's hop in.
Okay, let's do it. 29 supers today. Whoa. Well, I actually wanted 28 because I threw this one in early because I liked it. 49 red zone. If I was at the game yesterday, Niners won ugly on my birthday. I was at the game yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro. Hope you had a great day. Joseph Ehrenberg. By week 12, this team will be a for sure Super Bowl contender. What? What's happened to Ehrenberg?
Seriously, I don't know if there's is he using the sarcasm font? I don't know.
There's been a home invasion at home Ehrenberg. Something happened. Somebody go see Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg, when is the fire sale for the Giants? Lots of D linemen. You know what? That's a great call. Forget fire sale. The New York Giants have a defensive lineman on their practice squad named Elijah Chapman, who, man, the Niners ought to pick off. He is such a good player. He was good at SMU. He's kind of like the Willie Lampkin of D linemen.
Oh, so you really want him.
I really want him. He's really, really good. Michael Klein in the house. Hey, Michael. Michael has become a YouTube member.
Welcome, Michael. Thank you so much for joining the initiated.
Fuji Simeon in the house. Love the koozie sticker and hoodie, Damon. Thanks.
Thank you very much for picking up some merch, Fuji. Fuji, let me tell you, Fuji, in the fourth quarter of yesterday's game, he asked me a WNBA question. He's like, what do you think about the... I was like, I'm almost going to ban you from this chat if you're going to... No WNBA questions in the middle of... No fucking Valkyrie questions in the middle of a football game. It's the Niners are playing. Fuji, I love you.
Valkyries. Fuji Simeon. I apologize for wanting Leggett over Pearsall. Well, he's a big physical receiver for sure, but yes, Pearsall looks better than Leggett at the moment. Nathan McFadden, Pooney is the new Brendel. Hurt, but inconsistent. Wow.
I mean, it's a sophomore regression that is all kinds of normal. I'm not worried about Dominic Pooney. I'm really not.
Are we talking about just because of the safety? Is that all based on that? We'll see what he grades out as today when we look at the grades. We got this one from Fuji. What fixes can be made to help improve the run game? I mean, hand the ball to Brian Robinson a little bit more. Have a better interior line. I mean, I think Colby and Pooney are fine, but I mean, Brendel last week gave up the most pressures. He gave up 4 pressures. And you're not running the ball. So if your center's giving up a ton of pressures and you're not running the ball, I don't know, man. I'd definitely, if I was Firster, I know they love him, but if I was Firster, I would definitely look at my options at center.
The way to fix this running game was in the offseason where they failed to do it.
But I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to change out the back. You're not going to change out Pooney or Colby.
No, you're going to dance with the girl that you brought to the dance at this point. Your offensive line is your offensive. There is no great improvement to be found on the offensive line 3 weeks into an NFL season.
I don't know about that because I just don't know if they think that they're putting their best guy out there, but their best guy as far as intellect may not be their best guy as far as pop in the run game. I wonder, would Nugent be better? Would Zakel be better? Would Hennessy be better? Would with any of these guys be better?
There are internal changes that could be made, but no guarantees come with those internal changes. Again, the Drew Dahlman's gone is basically what I'm saying. The guy who absolutely would have fixed this problem was there. They didn't shop in his aisle. Enjoy Jake Brendel.
Yeah, I mean, there is no. Yeah, if you want to laugh, just look at when they work out offensive linemen in season. I mean, that's just the laughable list of all time. Barry Ford says, bang, bang, no Purdy, Bosa, Kittle, or Ayuk, no problem. In my opinion, Slick Rick Pearsall is the number one wide receiver in the room. Thank you, Mac Jones.
He is the number one wide receiver in the room.
Wow. People thanking Mac Jones. Joseph Ernberg, this run game and red zone offense is just gross to watch. That's the Ernberg I know and love.
There we go.
Fuji, watch Wright, Brockman, and others say quarterback controversy. Who's Wright and Brockman?
Does he mean Nick Wright? I mean, I don't know.
No.
I don't think that there's a quarterback controversy. I think that there are some people who might want to, write a column to get you to click on it. Don't. There's no quarterback controversy in Santa Clara. And Mac has been great. 53 of 80, 563 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2-0 in his 2 starts. Done a really, really good job. Don't tug on that thread too many times. The sweater will come undone. Although I like him, man. I really do. I like him. I like him. He's good.
Here's the big question. Will the 49ers have Mac Jones next year? Because they have him under contract, but it's such a reasonable amount. And if he plays well, and after watching Daniel Jones go from the New York Giants to the Colts and play really well, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked at all if Mac Jones, let's just say Mac Jones got, 2 or 3 more starts, right? Over the course of the year. He got 2 or 3 more starts. And let's say he just played in those starts the way he played in the last 2 starts. I think there's going to be teams lining up to give you a day 2 pick. Now, I don't know if it's, I don't think you're getting a first round pick, but guess what? You're not getting a day 3 pick. You're going to get, because he's only makes $7 million. So not only could you trade for Mac Jones, you could have a $7 million starting quarterback. So it's an unbelievable, his contract actually makes him more valuable than if he didn't have that contract. They might be able to get, and then he's valuable to them too. So then you got to say, well, wait a second. If somebody's willing to offer you a late 3rd, would you rather have Mac?
Depending on how this year goes and how much of a contender you fancy yourself next year, that is a legitimate question. What would you rather have? A very competent, trustworthy backup for $7 million a year, or another premium draft pick? Based on this team's draft history, I'll take the locked in, guaranteed to be decent backup quarterback. I think
you're right. It's a great debate topic too, because the backup quarterback always gets painted like, hey man, if you have to lean on your backup quarterback, what are you real, all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, if your quarterback goes down for 5 games, if you have a good backup quarterback, you're still going to the playoffs.
Look at it this way. What's Curtis Rourke doing at the moment of this decision? Who is Curtis Rourke? How do they fancy him? Do they think he is going to be the next Mac Jones? Or, so it depends.
Right. But you're right. It probably has a lot to do with Curtis Rourke. If Curtis Rourke really shows something, they'll probably be willing. And also, and then there's Mac's desire. Is Mac going to say, hey, man, look, I didn't mind coming here, backing up, and I loved it, and it resuscitated my career. I'm appreciative, but I want to go. It's 5 years in. I want to go start somewhere. I could go start for the Cleveland Browns or whatever, and maybe he wants to go there. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he loves it here. Maybe he wants to stay. Sunday Living says, what's in the water here? Last year we're 0-3 of the most underrated qualities. Rookies making mistakes, learning, and then making a big play.
Yeah, there's development. And that's called coaching. That is Bobby Saleh.
By the way, Robert Saleh, how great has Robert Saleh been?
Robert
Saleh, the Niners in the first 3 games have allowed 13 points, 21 points, 15 points yesterday, only 13 by the defense. It's pretty good. That's pretty good, considering a lot of people are like, this defense is going to suck.
Yeah.
Really? I
think they've also played 3 semi-challenged offenses. But look, if there's one thing I'm sure of, is you never need to apologize for winning an NFL game.
Oh, my God. It's so hard to win in this league. Fuji Simeon, what can be done to improve the O-line on the goal line?
Stronger, tougher. I don't know.
Bigger people. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Maybe Kittle and Farrell together. Maybe you go 2 tight ends and you have a bigger line. Maybe use Brian Robinson a little bit more. He's a power back. Maybe you find a center that can move people in the run game. I don't know. I'm not really sure. So that's above my pay grade. Trav says Kyle Shanahan making himself look more relevant. What's that? OBJ, less stars.
I don't know. There's some emoji that didn't come through there. But look, Shanahan is doing one of his greatest coaching jobs we've seen. He really is. He really is. You got a backup being protected by backups, throwing to backups. 3-0. Rookies everywhere. 3-0.
You got Kyle Shanahan winning games with his backup quarterback and having his backup quarterback look good. D. Martinez, 949. The interior O-line is a disaster. What kind of Jedi mind trick? Confundus charm does Brendel have on the coaches? He doesn't start on any other team. I'll give you the Brendel thing. This is the Brendel thing. The Niners were spending big money on centers. Spent a lot of money on Weston Richburg at the beginning of the Shanahan regime. Spent a lot of money on Alex Mack. They needed a replacement center. They didn't want to spend a lot of money. They hired Chris Foerster. Foerster's like, I had Jake Brendel in Miami. He's a street free agent. We can get him. I can plug him into my system, and he can do fine in my system, and it's not going to cost you guys anything. They're like, really? Really? Where you can get a starting center and that you like and fits your system, and it's not going to cost? Nope. And then he did. And then Jake Brendel came here, and he played so well that 3 years ago, he was a Pro Bowl alternate. But since then, I think he's regressed significantly, and yet he still made Chris look like a genius to Kyle. And so I think that's a big part of the Jake Brendel charm. I think Brendel made Foerster look good. So Foerster is going to defend Brendel at every turn. He even told me last year that Brendel was the best center that he had, like in 7 different categories. And he's, so they're all in on Brendel. And unfortunately, it seems like Brendel struggles as a pass protector and doesn't move anybody in the run game.
Well, that's the thing. He actually grades pretty well in pass protection. The run game's just not going anywhere.
He allowed the most pressures of anybody last week. We'll see what yesterday shows.
What else we got?
We got this one. Antonio Seabrook, the Predator, aka
the Winter Soldier. So he's on Predator, and D. Winters is the Winter Soldier. Not bad. I like that. The Predator. I really like that. I haven't thought of that. The Predator.
I listen to other teams' YouTubers, and they all have problems with their play calling. People overreact too much. Kyle has his faults, but he's still elite. Yeah. I mean, I don't, there's a lot of people who want to complain. And the number one area to complain in a football team is the quarterback and the head coach. So we get that. But then if you get as far as to say it's time to replace those guys, now you're kind of screwing with your own credibility. Silence says, who fills the void with Bosa out? We don't know what Bosa's situation is. So Sam O did yesterday and did really well. He had 7 tackles. But, no, I mean, they're probably going to have to go find somebody. Probably going to have to go sign somebody. They may have to trade for somebody.
Well, I'll tell you, Bryce Huff is still playing great.
Oh, he's playing great. But, we'll find out later today what Nick's situation is. Hopefully it's nothing too bad.
I'm if I had to bet on anything here, Larry.
What do you get?
Meniscus 6 weeks.
I'm thinking strained ligaments in the knee, not torn but strained, in probably a month. That's what I'm guessing. But
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
He was having a great year. Hopefully it's nothing big. Bobby L. Good morning, Larry and Damon. Glad to be back. The fact that we are winning the way we are and not at full strength is huge. This scares the league. Well, it should. It absolutely should. The Niners are cooking right now at 3-0, and they've got a whole lot of high-end talent coming back. Fuji Simeon says Costco will have a VIP entrance for you, Larry. Haha. Yes. The other day, the woman came up to me, and she's like, she in the line, she goes, they have the thing, like, oh, are you VIP? And she looks at me. I didn't even say anything. And she's like, she's like, you're VIP. I said, oh. I said, I said, I'm not even sure. So I busted out my card. She's like, it said VIP. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. How'd you know? She's like, oh, I've seen you here before. Thank you. Blood Moon, looking back at that Seattle win.
Walking around with your pinky up. They knew. They just,
Yeah.
That guy's classy.
I'm here. Blood Moon, looking back at the Seattle win looks good, but looking back at the New Orleans in this game, Mac's pocket presence is non-existent. Mac, like Sam, will remind us who he is. Okay, a rip on Mac. I think I liked what I saw from Mac. He only for you ripping his pocket presence. He's not very mobile. He's not operating behind one of the better lines. He doesn't have most of his best weapons, and he was only sacked one time.
He was only sacked once. I mean, yeah. It's not bad.
So, I mean, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Blood Moon and wait a second. Did I lose my Blood Moon? Oh, that was here we go. Eric Pierce in the house became a YouTube member. Way to go. And I know there's no relation, and I don't know if you knew him, but he was a great Giants fan. He was a great Bay Area fan. Dennis Pierce has passed. He was a great guy. He was a Giant usher. And he was a Walnut Creek native, and he's just a really sweet guy. He was a great Giants fan, great Niner fan, great Bay Area sports fan, great sports radio fan, just a really good dude. And I just saw Bill Lasky put a post up on Facebook yesterday saying that Dennis Pierce is no longer with us. And Dennis, I know you're not hearing us, but if you're hearing us up there, I love you, brother. And it was a pleasure. It was always a pleasure to spend time with you.
Very sorry.
Yes, I know. Well, I know you probably didn't know him, Damon, but he was a really, really nice man. Barry Ford said, add this little bit to the berry jar.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Kevin Wood in the house, member for 21 months. Let's get a little clap. Is CMC a Hall of Famer? Seems like him and Warner get in at some point. Trent and Kittle are locks. Bosa and Kyle are maybes. Anyone else?
Christian McCaffrey. Here's the thing. If McCaffrey actually gets a Lombardi trophy, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He will be a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. He is
hard to say Hall of Fame though.
No, it's right now, the premier backs of his era. It's a conversation between two guys. It's Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey.
No, he's in. I just think, I think McCaffrey is a Hall of Famer. I think Warner is a Hall of Famer. I think Trent is out, no doubt a Hall of Famer. I think Kittle is a Hall of Famer.
First ballot for Kittle.
I think Bosa is going to be a Hall of Famer as well. Kyle, I think, is going to need to win a Super Bowl or two. I think that's fair. We got a couple more here. We got this one from D. Martinez 949. If Bosa's out for the year and Miami's looking at rebuild, would they trade Jalen Phillips? What would you give them? I just watched Miami this week, and they were suggesting that Jalen Phillips, who is healthy right now, would potentially be traded. That's a guy I absolutely would trade for. Now, I wouldn't trade a lot because he has had a lot of injuries, but I would give a 4th-round pick to the Dolphins for Jalen Phillips. Yeah.
And look, the Dolphins are an actual trading partner, I think, where like the Houston Texans won't be, even though the Texans are off to a very disappointing start to the year.
Wow.
They've got a young team that they're going to be building, or they're not going to be blowing up their team with a, young quarterback like CJ Stroud still trying to figure it all out. So, but yeah, Dolphins could be out there. New York Giants could be out there. New York Jets could obviously be out there as dance partners.
John Lynch has made trading more in vogue in the NFL. So he's going to have some competition. Eric Pierce, how was Fast Eddie a free agent anyways? Yeah. It's incredible. He said that he had offers, but that he wanted to play for a winner. Now, I don't know what his offers looked like, but he'd kicked for Carolina the last 3 years, and he'd made 90% of his kicks. So I got to think that there were offers because he is the NFL's third most accurate kicker.
With all due respect to Eddie and the process, it just shows you how easy it is to go get another kicker. Just go get another one. It's like when a stripper falls off the pole, just go get another one. Just bring just get another one. Just bring in the next.
I have no idea what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Antonio Seabrook, they had a spy on CMC, so I thought any other target would have been better on that play. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going to go on 4th and 1 on a pass play to the guy that everybody in that stadium knows you're going to. I mean, once again, run the ball in the low red zone. If you can't run the ball in the low red zone, you're not going to be able to beat the best teams. Antonio Seabrook, they had it. Okay, we got that one. We got this one, Antonio Seabrook. It's no surprise the Niners don't have a true power running game. They don't have a power O-line.
That's the thing. They are kind of finesse, right? I mean, this is a little bit of a finesse team more than it is a power team. And I would think that the running numbers so far are bearing that out.
Yeah. Don't go tell Trent Williams he's finesse. It's like, I don't know about that, but I hear what you're saying. They've chosen faster, more athletic offensive linemen over time, over the big power road grader guys. But
there's more than one way to skin a cat. I mean, there really is. But
I'm not sure if that's really even all that PC anymore to say that. I don't know.
Shave a cat.
I'm not sure if people are skinning cats anymore.
I don't know if that's an improvement.
The cat lovers of the world are like, no. Clarence Molina, can't the chip and the ball say where the ball is on the field? I know they have a chip in the ball. I don't know its capabilities. Fuji says crazy Giants have the most dead cap hit bad picks. Yeah, I mean, seriously, Joe Shane, retire. You're a horrible team with the least cap room. I mean, that's like almost hard to do. Fuji says sorry for the Valkyrie question.
No problem. Thank you, Fuji. I appreciate it. Let's stay on topic during NFL games.
Valkyries. Lorenzo Pinto. Kyle is being Kyle once again. What's new, guys? Hey, they're 3-0.
Hey, look, you know what Kyle is? This is a whole new Kyle. Kyle doesn't win games late. They don't come back and win in the fourth quarter when they're down. They've done that 2 weeks in a row. This has got to be on some level good.
Yep. Fuji Simeon, Chris Brockman on the Rich Eisen show. He's a Pats fan.
Oh, so maybe he was talking about Nick Wright and Brockman is okay.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I don't know the producers on the Rich Eisen show.
Oh, I know Rich Eisen. He's the guy who picked the Rams to win the NFC West. Blood Moon says, would Mac have won in the NFC against Detroit? In my opinion, no.
Well, here's the thing. Was not playing them. That hypothetical does not matter.
Mac looks pretty good right now.
When you say, look at it this way. When you say next week, would he have beaten anybody other than the Jaguars? It won't matter because they're only playing the Jaguars. That's it.
These arguments that, it's like, they had a terrible schedule. And then after they win these games, well, they only beat.
Yeah, but they haven't played anybody.
I actually think this might be the perfect year for the Niners to have this type of schedule. Why? Because they can catch their breath. They can develop their young rookies. They've got a ton of rookies. And they can build confidence. And then suddenly they could get to November or December football. And suddenly here's Kittle and Ayuk and all their guys are back and they're healthier and the rookies are kind of up to speed. And things could look really good.
Look at it this way. We didn't really know who Ricky was. You hoped. Now we're starting to learn and we really like what we see. Now the prospects of, so you're telling me you got Ricky Pearsall, DeMarcus Robinson is going to be out there. Brandon Ayuk's going to be out there. George Kittle's going to be out there. Like that sounds
Jordan Watkins is coming.
That sounds like a problem. Jordan Watkins won't play 15 snaps from scrimmage all year. I'm fucking convinced. Kyle hates him already. I know it.
No, I mean, Kyle doesn't hate him. It's just hurt. I think Watkins is going to be really good. Wait until he gets out there. Fuji says, which NFL coaches are on the hot seat or fired?
Daboll, McDaniel.
Yeah, definitely McDaniel. Dable maybe because of the New York thing.
I mean, dude, they're 1-15 in their last 16 games or something like that. It's bad.
Yeah.
And by the way,
probably a few others we're not thinking of.
Did you watch that? What was Russell Wilson doing at the end of that game? Throwing the ball out of the back of the end zone on 3rd and 4th and got to make something happen. And he's having throw the ball away downs and critical downs. Like
I was so Niners specific yesterday. I didn't see it at all.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
I'll have to watch it later.
No, you don't. Don't watch it, Larry. Save yourself the time. My God.
Fuji Simeon, can Dieter suit up for Brendel?
Just about as big.
Not that I know
Here's
of.
the thing: we need Dieter 80 pounds ago.
I think Dieter's more finesse than Brendel. Silent says Moss replaces Brendel in power run package. Win-win. Bingo. There you go. I like it. I'm doing it. I think that might be the solution.
Can
I know
Drew
Brendel would
Moss
lose
snap
face.
a football? I mean, should we find that out first? Has he ever played
Yeah.
center?
I don't know, but he looks like a center. That's for sure.
By the way, center is unique. That is not just something anybody can go over there and play center. Bullshit. That is a hard position to play.
Yeah, especially on this team because you got to make all the calls. Fuji says, "What is the breakdown of plays Kyle calls versus the OC calling?" You're never getting the answer to that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's. I would say it's mostly Kyle. It's Kyle's offense. Even if Kubiak sequences the plays, they're still Kyle's plays that he okayed and he drew up and everything else. So. Yeah, I mean, I would say Kyle is allowing Kubiak to have more hands-on, but to what degree, it's hard to know. Jay Greasy, how was the offensive play calling in your views? I was not dismayed by the execution, but the calls themselves worrisome. What do you think, Damon, of the calls themselves?
Well, I think he gets a little McCaffrey dependent. And, if McCaffrey does anything on first down, he's absolutely going to get it again on second down. Like, you could just see it. It's a little predictable. And I wish that they would spread the ball around. However, I will give Kyle this. He does not have a lot of spread the ball around options. His real two NFL players to get the ball to these first 2 weeks have been Ricky Pearsall, Christian McCaffrey. And that's the list.
I would throw it a little bit more to Tongas and maybe even a little bit more to Sky Moore. The one thing I noticed from watching on the binoculars is that Sky Moore was getting some separation, and Tongas is a good receiver. I mean, he had 3 targets. He caught 2 of the 3 balls. I'd like to see a few more passes. I realize, he's a backup, but I'd like to see a few more passes to Jake Tongas. We got this one. Fuji, does Juice make it to the Hall of Fame as a fullback by default? No. He's not a Hall of Famer. Blood Moon, do you think that Brock Purdy will have more of a fire because of Mac? Well, it's interesting. I asked Mac about Brock in the post game because I know Brock is, Darnold said it when he went to Minnesota. He's like, it was great working in Kyle's system, but what was really incredible was getting a chance to work with Brock and go through his preparation. I think his preparation is the best I've ever seen. This is Darnold last year. So I asked Jones about it. I said, how much did Brock help you with your preparation or throughout the game? And he's like, a ton. He's like, a lot. He's like, we had meetings throughout the week and, a play would come up and Brock would be like, all right, so that's what we're going to do in this play. So he was like making sure that, that they had a plan and they had an idea and a way to win on every snap. And he said that preparation really helped him. So I think, the same way that Alex Smith, Damon, really helped Kaepernick because Kaepernick was such an incredible athlete, but Alex Smith was one of the most cerebral quarterbacks of his era. And having that guy to watch film with, I'm sure helped Kaepernick early on. I really think having Brock there is really helping Mac Jones just because of the level of detail that Brock puts into the prep. And I think that's a good example to anyone.
Well, and it just shows you the guy's got an awful lot of self-confidence, man. And the key word in self-confidence isn't confidence, it's self. I don't think anybody's performance, positively or negatively, really affects Brock Purdy that much. But he's also aware there's another guy in the room who in the last 2 weeks has proven he can control the room. So I'm sure Brock would like to get back there just because he's a competitor.
Did you see the quarterback celebration that they did after the game?
No.
Where it was Mac and Brock and Rourke and Martinez and Mick Lombardi, and they were jumping around together. I think they got a good vibe in that room. I think they got a good vibe. I mean, think about it. Rourke is a great kid who just wants to get better. He's a student at this point. He's like a college student.
Just soaking it up.
Martinez is a really, really good prospect in his own right from a secondary level of football. And then you've got Jones, who's trying to salvage his career, and you got Purdy, who's trying to establish his career, and you got Mick Lombardi, who's trying to kind of establish himself as an NFL quarterback coach. I just think there's a lot of want in that.
Good juju, complimentary juju.
Yeah, they looked like they had a really good vibe. Fuji Simeon says the only cat you skin is an SI Wildcat. Sorry.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Go get them cats.
Look at that. We are SI, by the way. Craig's Kitchen. I saw the whole game. Didn't see Robinson. Yeah, well, he only played. Wait, no, he's talking about Brian. He only had 2 carries? Maybe, 2 carries for 22 yards, but one of them was a 19-yard run. So, yeah, if you can go watch his 19-yard run again, it was really kind of a thing.
It's his biggest moment as a Niner so far.
Yeah, seriously.
Hands down.
Kevin Wood, how does this team compare to the 2019 team? Totally different team. I think that 2019 team had a more proven defensive line, but this defensive line, I mean, granted, we'll have to find out what status of Bosa is because he means that much. But I like the potential for this defense. What did the Niners add? They added speed on all 3 levels of their defense. Mikel, Gross Matos, and Huff add tremendous speed up front. Winters adds tremendous speed on that second level. Siegel runs in the 4.3s. Upton Stout runs in the 4.4s. So you're talking about adding speed on all 3 levels of your defense, and I think you can see it. I think you can see that speed. We got a couple more here. Juan Mendoza, when will we see Jordan Watkins? Yesterday was it. No, he has a calf injury. He's going to be out several weeks. He's probably a second half of the year guy at this point. Jerry Schetzel, I think you guys missed my super. Love y'all. Oh, really? I'm sorry, Jerry.
Sorry, Jerry. Love you. Thank you.
Did we really? We don't miss too many. I'm going to go back here real quick because I want to make sure if you put it up there that we have it. Did you see a Jerry Schetzel?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Jerry. I'm going back. Wait a second. I'm almost at the top. Jerry Schetzel. Is it possible, Jerry, that you hit the button, but it didn't go through?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, Jerry. But look at it this way, Jerry. We got this one.
Yeah, we didn't miss it,
and we thank you very, very much for it.
Thank you.
Just a few more, Larry, and then I got a show coming up at 11. We're going to be celebrating all things Ricky Pearsall at 11 a.m. on the Blues. So hopefully everyone plan on joining me over there.
Greg Argazy. My name is pronounced RJZ 1981 again. Can it be better? Greg Argazy.
Greg Arjazy, always great to have you in here, Greg. Thank you. I don't know if we're at 81 yet, but let's see.
D Martinez 949. People and things named Mac do well in the Bay Area. Mac Dre, Mac Mall, Mac of the Year, Born to Mac.
Return of the Mac. Although no Bay Area tie there, I don't think. Just a great song.
Can I see all those Macs and I raise you a Mac Daniels. Do you remember Mac Daniels?
Who's Mac Daniels?
Mac Daniels, when KMBR started the country station, they turned 94.9 into a country station. They threw this DJ on with me and Rich Walkoff, and he went by Mac Daniels. I said, Mac Daniels isn't your real name, is it? He's like, oh, no, it sounds good on the country station. Mac Daniels. Pastor Lloyd, is Fred Warner better than Patrick Willis?
Shout out Rich Walkoff, wherever he is in the world.
Yes, Rich, if you're out there, we love you, brother.
Great guy.
Pastor Lloyd, is Fred Warner better than Patrick Willis? He's better in coverage, but Willis was better, period.
Here's the thing. They're both in their 8th. So Patrick played 8 seasons. This is Fred Warner's 8th season. And I would say that Fred Warner is on a Hall of Fame track. Patrick Willis, without a championship, did more tackling than just about anybody other human in football in his 8 years. He was incredible. But how about this? With Patrick Willis, you probably had the best linebacker in football. With Fred Warner, you probably have the best linebacker in football.
Invader 49er. Add Colby and you've got mac and cheese.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
See, now it's goodbye.
Now it's time. That's
everyone.
All righty.
Here at the end.
Okay. Wait. Mark Graves. Gravy Graves. Mac Williamson didn't do so well with the Giants. Yeah, there we go. We're at 49 supers. I almost don't want to leave till we get a 50th. Can we get a 50th super before we bail out the door? 50 is a nice round number.
It is a nice number, don't you think?
I'd like to tell my wife, actually 50 supers today with me and Damon, but right now we're sitting at 49. All right, maybe there we go. We got a 50th. And wait, Pastor Lloyd. Oh, wait, that was our last one. That was 49. Here's 50. Here's 50. Cliffy, who makes a bigger impact on the offense, DeMarcus Robinson or a running back not named Christian? I'm going to say DeMarcus.
I'm excited about DeMarcus Robinson, too. I didn't think I would be, but DeMarcus Robinson is the only guy in training camp who looked and did things like Ricky Pearsall's doing. So hopefully that's a harbinger of things to come. And the Niners have a very beatable Jacksonville team coming to town, and they're going to be better off stepping into that game, hopefully, than they were this week. Again, all eyes on Nick Bosa. But
final thought. Let's go. Final thought. Habas Law brings us our final thought. Habas Law is a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Today's show is sponsored by our good friends at Habas Law. Omar Habas, son Tarek. They're great. They're fantastic attorneys. If you need someone in your corner, call the firm that insurance companies are hoping you never call, Habas Law. They will fight to make it right. Visit habaslaw.com on the web, HABBAS law.com. Our Habas Law, Angel Murillo, he said, get my tequila ready, Krug. Damon, I'll give you the final thought brought to you by Habas Law on our way out of the stream here.
Look, circumstances dictate this 3-0 start has been tremendous for the 49ers. Has it been perfect? Has it been clean? Has it been without criticism? Absolutely not. Find me the team in football that lives in that universe. This is a brutal sport. Everybody involved in it is really good at what they do. And for the 49ers to be playing with second and third stringers everywhere and be one of the 6 3-0 teams in this league right now, and the only other team other than Tampa Bay to have 2 of those wins be wins on the road, you could not be sitting prettier. And I think even a Kyle Shanahan critic would have to say he's done a hell of a job. He's done a hell of a job with the circumstances that he's got, some of which he created for himself. But can't ask for more than 3-0 through 3 weeks, Larry. It's just that simple. So good start to the 49ers season. It's exactly what they needed. And thanks again to Habas Law. There you go.
I'm going to throw a Kevin Kruger stat out there. Kev had this one on his Twitter. It's pretty good. Mac Jones was 7 of 9 on play action pass attempts for 63 yards and a touchdown. The Niners called play action on just 10.5% of the dropbacks, but increased to 29.2% of the dropbacks in the second half. They did a lot of play action in the second half. Without play action, Jones was 20 of 32 for 221 yards and an interception. But those numbers in the, 7 of 9 on play action for 63 yards and a touchdown, and the fact that the Niners went almost 30% play action in the second half shows that they maybe feel like they found something there, at least something that really jives with Mac's skill set.
You got to respect Christian McCaffrey's touches. I mean, you just have to. Whether he's carrying the ball well or not, that's someone you need to be focused on. So if that's a way to get a step on a corner, use it.
Yep. That's going to do it for us, everybody. Damon's going live at 11, and how many minutes away is that? Let's see, what time is it? I don't have
7 minutes away, baby.
Okay, 7 minutes from now, Damon's going live. I will be on KMBR with Greg Silver at, I believe, 11:50 this morning. I'll be streaming later today with Grant. I'll be streaming later tonight after the Monday Nighter with Dieter. It's a big Monday. I've got to watch the game again somewhere in the midst of that. Niners Nightly also coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. So we got a busy, busy day. So on that note, we'll let you all go. But, hey, thanks for tuning in. If you want to help the show, shop the sponsors. There's links in the description for all of our sponsors. Damon, great to see you. Have a great show at 11. Thanks to all of you guys. Damon, I'll give you the final word.
That's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe. Have a great Monday. 3-0. Good things.
3-0.